back to the BJONESSTYLE channel and welcome to the fourth and final episode of Thrifting the Runway, featuring the 90s designers called Retro Revivals. So we have arrived at the end of our month of February with the idea of Retro Revivals being our inspiration for Thrifting the Runway. And I am so excited today because what we're gonna do is I've been thrifting, I've been finding all of these gems inspired by Vivienne Westwood, Christian Lacroix, Jean-Paul Gaultier, John Galliano, to name like the core designers. And now I am finally going to style them for you and give you just inspirations to get your brain buzzing, to get you excited, to style up your own versions of Thrifting the Runway. Before we hop into the styling, I thought it would be fun to just kind of break down the way that I'm approaching styling these looks and styling these pieces. And I have referenced a lot of this in the episodes leading up to this one, of just some of the ideas behind this idea of the Retro Revivals, which I've mentioned a lot. Cinching in the waist, which you see I'm doing today. But I think some of the other things that are kind of coming to mind, it's of course cinching in the waist. That can be with corseting, vests, belts, even the way you wrap something. I've been really into taking shirts and kind of asymmetrically buttoning them. And then talking about the asymmetric idea, I think that's a big part of the styling too. And that is a little bit, I think everything feels deconstructed somehow. And you see that a lot in Vivienne Westwood's styling, and I think that comes from some of that punk influence. Everything's a little bit deconstructed. She might, like I found, have, you know, arm warmers over her shirt. She might have some kind of like knit piece around her waist. She might have a piece that's like hanging this way, but then there's an open spot here, or it's buttoned, you know, off kilter. So just that whole idea of deconstruction is a big part of the styling, and you're gonna see a lot of that today with these looks. Also, something that I'm loving is the idea of draping, and that's, you know, almost recreating the idea of the bustle in some of those designs from the 18th century, if I'm saying that, or 17th century. But that bustling idea, and I've been doing a lot of that through draping. So that's kind of picking up a piece of the skirt and then tucking it up into the waistline and then cinching it in with a belt and creating that kind of cool bustle drape detail. So that's gonna pop up. And then I have been on the most ridiculous ride with hats lately. I love hats. I have a massive hat collection, and I've always been a hats wearer, but it's gone on a whole nother level recently. I think almost every day I have worn a hat of some kind or a headscarf or something, and I'm having so much fun with that. And I think that's what's at the core of so many of these designers, is this fanciful escape into another reality. We don't live in a time necessarily where everyone's wearing a hat every day like the day has gone by, but why not? Why not just wear a hat? And I think that is like, you kind of escape into another persona, another character when you put a hat on. It just adds more drama. And all of these looks are full out drama, full out fun, character driven. And it's honestly speaking to the theater kid in me, because I was definitely that theater kid, you know, dreaming of Broadway. So I think hats are a huge thing. Of course, belts are big. I've been using belts a lot to cinch things and create that waistline that we see in a lot of these designers. Scarves, I've been playing with that a lot, doing that in my hair like I'm doing today, or even, you know, tying it around wrist, on your arm, on your bag, on your waist, just using scarves in lots of creative and fun ways. And I can't forget a few different ideas that I'm loving right now, and that is all those old men's, well, men still wear ties, but the tie, the vest, the suspenders, all of those menswear items, I have been working those into so many of these looks. So adding suspenders to a look, I love adding ties right now. Any time I find a button down shirt, I'm thinking, how can I wear a tie with that? And then I love to cinch it in with the vest over top. So all of that I'm loving, and you're gonna see that in some of the looks today. And then a fun little surprise, like I mentioned, is that idea of Vivienne Westwood. She takes, I don't know if those are socks that she cuts and throws them on her arm, but I love it. And I have embraced the idea of the arm warmer instead of the leg warmer, even though I live in California. I'm still gonna do it. And I'm so excited to style up those arm warmers that I found at Savers in my first Thrifting the Runway episode. And so those are gonna get played out in an outfit today. So anyways, we are just gonna have so much fun today. We are recreating the runway, making these looks come alive with thrifted finds. And I think let's just get into the styling fun. First off, let's just break down what I'm wearing to start this whole video off. I found this amazing cinched in leather jacket when I was at Savers, and I loved the idea of giving it kind of a Western spin. Vivienne Westwood meets Western. So what I did was I took the black and white button down that I also found along the way this month, and I put a bolo tie on with it. And then it was about adding all of those little elements that give it the Western magic. So I did a black and silver belt cinching in the waist. I love the shape of this jacket. It almost has a cocoon element to it with really dramatic shoulders, and then that great extra layer around the waist. And then we are going full on with all of the balloon shaped legs. So my Lizwear denim that always creates that drama on the leg, I paired it with my snakeskin black and white boots that are so fabulous and so much fun. And then I wanted to add a little bit more character magic with the scarf that I wrapped in my hair. And then, like I said, I've been wearing hats endlessly, and this really fun green and black hat that I've had for probably 10 plus years was topped off on my head. I loved the idea of taking the trench coat that I found and then pairing it with a few other thrift goodies, like the wraparound knit and the cotton navy skirt. I did a few little styling tricks. First of all, I took the gray knit and I wrapped it backwards and just creating something different with that, giving it a little bit of drama there in the back with the crisscross idea, playing off of that idea of deconstruction. And then I took that navy skirt that I found at Savers, and like I did in the store, I wanted to style it up with some draping. So I picked up a piece of the skirt, tucked it into the waistband, and then created this really cute kind of side bustle. For styling, I took the trench, but wanted to create a little drama by cinching it in the waist and then doing more of that asymmetric styling. So taking one side and putting it off the shoulder, and then the other side kind of popped collar on the shoulder, creating more of that asymmetric styling. And then I think I'm playing a little bit with the idea of Vivienne Westwood by taking these knee-high socks, pulling them up over my knees, teasing a little skin right there, putting on my big black AS98 Stomper lace-up boots that always feel like I'm giving it that Vivienne goodness. And then finally finishing off with a big pendant necklace, and I did my fuzzy fun little military style hat. I'm calling this my trenched theatrical moment. This look is inspired a little bit by what Christian Lacroix did during the 90s, playing with menswear but giving it some feminine flair at the same time. I found these amazing PJ pants and I wanted to style them up to be ready for daytime with some menswear mixed in. So I added the blue Adolpha shirt. Like I said, I'm looking for lots of button-down classic pieces that I can do the extra styling with. And then I cinched in the look with the great classic vest that I found at Savers. I'm all about ties right now, and so that red tie that I found was absolutely perfect with this look. What I did here for some of the styling was to asymmetrically button the shirt. So pulling up one side of the collar and then finding holes that fit in a off-kilter kind of way. And then I loved adding that tie to the neckline, exaggerated how off-kilter it was. I kept the shirt untucked and even showing off the deconstructed look at the bottom, and then these just super fun PJ pants had a great print, felt like a classic pair of men's PJ pants. And then I found those great orange lace-up shoes, so I wanted to add those to this look. It even teased some of the orange that's in the tie, and I added some fun cranberry colored fishnet socks with this. Of course, I have to add a little bit more, so I pinned on this cross and bejeweled brooch, and then added my incredible hat from De La Fuente, which I absolutely love and I wear probably weekly. This look felt so fun, effortless, and honestly easy breezy. Is a special styling edition designed and created by Maddie Haney. This is inspired by Jean-Paul Gaultier, and Maddie went crazy in my closet styling up this look, and I absolutely fell in love with what she came up with. So it was all about taking this 1970s bursting dress and then layering it up with all unexpected pieces, wrapping around this leather skirt, topping it off with a brocade cinched in vest, and then piling from there, piling on this red amazing coat with butterflies on it, adding a fur stole for extra texture and extra magic. She also added some rusty orange textured tights with the cow print Mary Jane shoes. And finally, I grabbed from Sarah's collection of Cameo Appearance Vintage this leather topper hat to add 1 more ounce of icing to the cake. Such a fabulous look. Thank you, Maddie, for creating this Jean-Paul Gaultier inspired wonder. This look, I had to style up this acid wash crazy jacket that I found on my Savers adventures. This was a funny piece that I ended up bringing home, and I liked the idea of pairing it with a lot of neutrals. So I took that shag and deconstructed sweater, layered it over an amazing little ruched up tank top that you might have seen me find in some of my January thrifting adventures. I've been wearing this all the time. And then I cinched in this waist with a great, really wide classic belt. I put it on with some balloon-shaped khaki pants tucked into my snakeskin boots, and then adding the pendant and the final little toppers to this look was putting, of course, the acid wash jacket on. I loved the drape of it, the drama, the hood, and then I wanted to top it off with a beret that has these really fun cameos on it. So I feel like this look is playing with a lot of the different designers' ideas and bringing it to the day-to-day street style look. Last and final look was all about styling up these crazy fun arm warmers that I found. I paired it with that button down that I found in January, and I've been wearing it over and over and over again. I tucked it in, again, asymmetrically, to my vintage army pants that are just so buttery soft and absolutely fabulous. And then I pulled on some chocolate brown boots, tucked the pants into those, and then just created some fun moments with the arm warmers pulled over the shirt, letting the cuffs hang out, adding a little tank top underneath the shirt, putting on my pendant necklace, tied it up with my go-to scarf, even adding one big broken earring. You know what, nothing's perfect. And then I grabbed this really fun beanie and made it a little bit funny and fun by tucking the sides up but keeping the front down. Maybe I'm from Lord of the Rings, I'm not sure, but I'm loving it. Thrifting the Runway. I had so much fun this month being inspired by the 90s retro revival designers. It's brought so much new inspiration into my brain. I don't think I've really explored this group of designers before, and especially from the 90s. I mean, I've definitely always seen them, but I hadn't ever really dove into the archives and let it just completely take over how I get dressed. But in some way, I feel like this may be one of my like inner styling inspirations that needed to come out and probably will never go away. And I think the reason why is, at the end of the day, I want to be a character when I wake up in the morning. I want to dream up something, get dressed, and go out into my day, no matter what that day looks like. And all of these designers speak to that in me. They just go full fantasy. They dream up something that could live on a stage or a different time, and that just makes me so excited. And I also love, as I was putting all these looks together, there is something really imperfect about all of them. They're not about everything being all buttoned up and, you know, minimal or tied together. It's about playing, and I think that's what I do love about them. Everything's a little bit unkempt and fun and fantasy, so I don't think this inspiration will ever leave my styling brain and my styling backlog in there. I think I'm going to be playing with this one for a long time, and that will probably carry throughout this entire year. But I have definitely had fun in February thrifting the runway, and we're wrapping up February and we are on to March, which you know what that means, it's spring. And so we're gonna keep going with this theme of thrifting the runway, and every month it's gonna have a different theme. March is gonna be all about spring and spring awakenings and diving into the trends. I might even reference the current trends, but I might look back at some of the trends that I'm seeing now and how they were interpreted in other times. So it's gonna be so much fun. I cannot wait to get all wrapped up in what's coming for spring. And actually, it's funny, I really haven't done a ton of research. So I'm gonna be doing that research for myself and for you, and be sharing that with you. And you know I'm gonna be thrifting it and hunting down the vintage and all of the good stuff when it comes to spring. So get ready for a lot of spring trend content coming your way in March. And finally, I just want to say, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel. I have new videos every single Thursday. And make sure you're on the Weekly Scoop email list. I have a link down below. Click that link, get on the Weekly Scoop email. There is tons of inspiration that hits your inbox on Tuesday. The whole purpose of the email is to just kind of unpack more of what happens here on the channel, give you more inspiration, more images, things that you can pin, things that you can use for your own mood boards, and just get you off and running and creating the magic into your everyday. And finally, I just want to say, always play dress up, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!